Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back. Today we got the Deltaforce 29 hatch. I wrecked this boat about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I put a big hole in my hatch, basically. This is the stock fiberglass that broke out. This is my reinforcement that I put on the inside of the hatch. So we're going to do a temporary repair, kind of get it looking okay. And in a future video this winter, we'll probably make a little mold and pull a carbon fiber hatch from it. So stick around. Big B with Ironclad RC. So yeah, I was doing some inward propeller testing on my twin motor Deltaforce, and we crashed it. Okay, now the hatch was already spider webbed. Okay, when I seen the spider webbing on the hatch, I reinforced the inside with one single layer of chop strand mat. Okay, when I seen the spider webbing, you can see it's actually spider webbed quite a bit. And the hole here is the stock fiberglass and gel coat. It almost looks just gel coat, but there's a thin layer of fiberglass on there, and it basically split off where it was spider webbed on this fiberglass. You know, if I wouldn't have laid this internal piece of reinforcement, I would have a gaping hole in my hatch. So kind of glad I reinforced it, you know, so I can repair the hatch a little bit easier. So what I'm actually going to start by doing is I got a little grinding stone. I got a bunch of options here, but I picked that guy there, and I've already started. Basically going to go around the whole hatch here where it's busted open. I'm going to pick off any pieces that's loose. Okay, and basically what I like to call feather taper the edge, you know, so we have a nice transition, so we can like fill the voided area here with cloth, chop strand mat cloth, and that transition should make the final sanding a little easier and the final product a little tougher. Okay, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because I may run it a couple runs, and then once I get the materials, I'm going to lay up a mold and lay up a carbon fiber hatch, because you know, matching paint, that's just not my cup of tea, you know what I mean? And it looks hideous, but I do want to run the boat a little bit before the season ends, so. So I got the area kind of like rounded off, okay, tapered, feathered around the edge here. So we're actually going to cut probably 2, maybe 3 pieces of fiberglass cloth, and I'm going to cut the smallest piece to basically go around the edge of the brake, and then the largest piece will lay around the outside of the brake. This stuff's like, this hatch was super thin. It almost looks like it's literally only gel coat, but I mean, you don't see any layers, you know, there's not a layer of gel coat and fiberglass. It's like a freaking just a gel coat hatch, you know. If you have a thicker hull or hatch, you may need to cut 2 or 3, 4 layers of cloth. Even if it's structural, I would recommend using some chopped strand, and then maybe using the cloth over the chopped strand if it's a structural repair. But this is a hatch, and I'm gonna try to go light as I can, and then we'll sand it to shape and fill what needs to be filled. But I think two applications should be good. So what I'm going to use is 30-minute by Smith Industries. So it's like what I have right now, and I'm basically going to brush it on, put my cloth on, wet it out. Okay, go ahead and do my second one, all in one shot. You know, wet it out, no air bubbles. Okay. Make sure you clean the area before you epoxy. Okay, so you need some like denatured alcohol and clean the area. Alright, so I got it laid out. It was pretty simple. I actually went 3 layers opposed to 2. I was just going to put a small piece and a large piece to cover the whole damaged area. Mid layup, I decided to cut a third piece, a medium-sized piece, to lay up onto the edge of my feathered area, and then one large piece that covered the whole damaged area. Okay, so now we're just gonna let it cure out. All right, and I'm gonna use some alcohol on my rag here, clean up any excess, you know, little boo-boos like that. You know, a lot of guys would actually tape off this area, you know, and just work inside the tape, but I'm not most guys. You know, I feel comfortable enough that I can. It's gonna be all sanded anyway. It's basically gonna be a freaking plug for a mold, so I didn't really tape it off. You know, if you want to, you could tape the damaged area off so you don't have a lot of cleanup to do, but we're just gonna let it cure up overnight, and everything should be filled. Okay, all I have to do is sand it down to shape. All right, so what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, buddy? What's my big boy doing? What's my big boy doing? He's getting old. He's getting old. Him is getting old. Him a big old boy. Hey, girl. Hey, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Huh? What you doing? What you doing? Hey, Lolo. That's a good girl. Yep, that's my Lolo. That's my Lolo. All right, so it's actually the next day. Okay, we actually got the epoxy cured out. All right, the hole is patched. Okay, so now I'm just going to basically take some sandpaper here, sanding blocks, whatever it takes, orbital sander, whatnot, whatever, grinder, whatever you have, sand it out, sand it up, you know, get it all sanded to shape so you get a nice profile, you know, profile it out so you have a seamless transition from the original hatch to the fiberglass epoxy patch, you know, pretty simple. So I'm just going to use some sanding paper, some sanding blocks that I have, you know, just knock it down. So that's basically how you repair a hatch. Okay, a fiberglass hatch. I guess this repair could be done for carbon fiber as well. The most important part of this process is cleaning the repair area and feathering, tapering the brake area to your good material. That's the most important part. You can actually see the transition here. Okay, see that shiny line right there? Once you paint it, that will all get covered up, you know, primed. Primer will fill that in. The most important part is that taper. It actually gives the repair area surface to bond to. It's going to reduce the likelihood of your repair area cracking around the brake. If we didn't feather, it would pretty much crack and possibly pop right off the hatch, you know, the repair. So you gotta feather it out. It's kind of a big project for those of you who aren't familiar with working with epoxy and fiberglass cloth, but it's actually fairly straightforward. Once you taper it, my biggest tip I would give you is don't go light with the cloth. You know, if you think you need 2 coats like I did, put 3 on there. Okay, if you put 3, you're gonna have just a little bit more sanding to do, but you're not gonna have as much filling to do in the end. You know, bring your epoxy out past your tapered area. You know, your resin, when you lay your cloth in, make sure the cloth is the exact size as the tapered area, the outside circumference of it. And like I said, just add maybe one more layer of cloth and do your sanding. I started with 60. I roughed everything up with 60. I went down to 80, or I guess, yeah, 80 up to 80. Then I went to 120. I got some 120 around here, 220, and then my last, as you guys seen, my final little zets there was with the 1200. Okay, 1200. So I'm actually going to be waxing this hatch to prepare it for the mold making process. At this point, once you get it filled, you know, and sanded and filled, you could paint it. Just prime it and paint it. You're done. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm making a whole new hatch because, you know, the only option for a replacement hatch for my boat is white, and white wouldn't look good with a black and orange themed boat. So I think the black carbon fiber hatch will look better. I got to get some PVA. That'll be here shortly, and we'll pull a hatch this winter. I got a lot of projects planned for the winter. Gonna be fixing a lot of my boats, repairing some boats from the summer. I ran my boats hard, put them away wet, so to speak. So hopefully this helps you guys out. This works for pretty much any break or damaged area on fiberglass or carbon fiber. Okay, you can use fiberglass cloth with epoxy. You could use fiberglass cloth with polyester resin. It's completely up to you. You could do the repair with carbon fiber if you wanted to. It all works the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think it turned out really good. Everything's nicely transitioned and sanded, and basically all I gotta do is put some wax on it, buff it up, and make a mold. All right, so hopefully this helps you guys out. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.